What's up guys, it's your boy War, coming back to you with another certified banger. Today's story is going to be the introduction to a mini-series that I'll be doing on some of the worst teachers that I had growing up. Alright, let's get into part 1. It was 2015. It was my second semester in high school. The teacher was introducing himself, and right away, I already knew this guy was going to be a little bit of a problem because he was a little bit sarcastic and he had a little bit of an attitude. I didn't let that get to me right away, and he seemed like a great person when he was introducing himself, but it started to become a problem down the line. When he would start teaching, I remember asking questions when he would be teaching us something on the board. I recall asking him a question about the pen, and he gave me a sarcastic answer in front of everyone. It made me feel stupid. After he made me feel stupid, I just let him continue teaching. Even though I didn't understand certain parts of what he was talking about, I didn't bother to ask a question because he already embarrassed me. It was a couple of weeks in, and we were focusing a lot on making the pen, and it was time to do some book work. I remember not being able to understand the terminology used in the books, so I called him over and I asked for help. After I asked my question, he said, "We've been doing this for a while. You don't understand what this word means?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't understand what this word means." And he said, "Well, I recommend you reread that because you need to catch up." Like, a complete asshole response to me simply asking a question about a word. Instead of simply explaining what the word was to me, I had to go reread the beginning of the chapter to understand how to answer a couple of questions in the textbook. I remember at the table, my friends were sharing answers. When I tried to get the answers from my friend, he came to the table and told them not to share the answers with me. And he said that I should be focusing on my own work and trying to learn for myself. But it was okay for them to do it, and it was okay for the other classmates to do it. Times would come, I'd ask questions in class, he'd roll his eyes at me, and he would give me a sarcastic answer, and sometimes it would answer my question, and sometimes it wouldn't. And when I needed help doing the bookwork questions, I'd raise my hand, I'd ask him politely about something. The guy would just give me rude answers, over and over again. It got to the point where I would call him over, and he wouldn't even help me with whatever I was asking about. He would just tell me to reread it, figure it out. So I tried to do that, and clearly I wasn't really understanding because I wasn't getting the work done. The next few weeks, he kept hounding on me and my friend. He kept hounding our table. He kept coming to the table. "How come you're not doing the work? How come you don't understand?" And I would be like, "I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to comprehend the question. It's taking me a little while to learn it because I don't understand." Like I said, he would just roll his eyes and be like, "Alright, whatever, figure it out," and just walk away, leaving me absolutely clueless like I already was. One day, after weeks of him doing that, after weeks of the attitude, the sarcasm, and him rolling his eyes and being rude to me, for really no reason, I built up some anger. He came to the table one day, and he said, "How come you guys are the only two people who don't seem to understand this?" And I said, "Well, I'm trying my best to understand this." Because after a certain point in those few weeks, when I had all that anger building up, I just didn't bother to ask him questions because every time he'd come to my table, he would just be rude and he would just be sarcastic and it would just piss me off. So I just tried to figure it out on my own and I didn't bother asking him questions. And when he said to me on that day, "How come you don't ask me questions?" And he also added, "What is your problem anyway?" As soon as he said, "What is your problem anyway?" that was it for me. I said, "What's my problem? What's your problem? You're the one with a fucking attitude problem. You're like 50 years old and you're rolling your eyes and you're being sarcastic. Instead of helping me and my friend, you just left us to figure it out on our own, man. What's my problem? What's your problem?" And he came back at me. He yelled at me with some bullshit or whatever he said. All I know, the conversation ended with him saying, "Whatever, figure it out on your own, it's not my problem." I think 2 months in, we eventually started to get along and he would help me more with the work. He would help me more with questions. He wasn't a dickhead when I'd raise my hand in class, and I didn't mind him after that. There's no reason to make someone feel stupid. There's no reason to make someone feel like they asked a stupid question. It's supposed to be, there's no such thing as stupid questions. It's supposed to be like that. And that's how it was after 2 months. So I'm happy he changed. I'm happy he realized that as soon as I flipped out on him for being an asshole, it got in his brain and it clicked. He changed for the better. That's gonna do it for today's video. If you did enjoy part 1 of this series, please make sure to leave a comment. Make sure to turn on my post notifications so you don't miss a future upload. Alright guys, it's been your boy War, and I'll see you in the next one.